What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PGA First Look video. We're here to talk about the Worldwide Technology Championship at Mayakoba, I believe is the name. This used to be named the OHL Classic. That was much easier to remember. But now it probably has the longest name on the PGA Tour. I hope some of you ended up getting on Seamus Power last week at plus 2,500. Had him listed as a bet in the article and on scoresandodds.com. Also had him to finish in the top 5, so that was nice. We also had Ben Griffin to finish in the top 10. And the model had Ben Griffin as the top overall play of the slate in terms of a point per dollar basis. We talked about that on this video last week. So certainly nice week. I'm looking to keep it going for this week's event. Now, let me hide these columns real quick. This is always a first look for me. I end up running the model, pulling all the data in, and then doing a little course preview, and then kind of looking through the data with you in terms of what the model is spitting out. So we're going to have El Camaleon Golf Course. It's a par 71, just over 7,000 yards. It's in the beautiful Playa del Carmen, just outside of Cancun. Last 5 winners here, 23, 20, 20, 22, and 19 under par. So got to expect some low scores this week. It is a very short course. 5 of the par 4s do measure over 450 yards. So that is a difference from last week where we just had a bunch of short par 4s. The par 3s here, extremely easy. The easiest on tour. And there's no shot link data to work with, unfortunately, but we do have a lot of course history. So I went back and looked at the last 5 leaderboards and took the top 10 golfers and looked at their stats that we do have available. So their average driving distance was 32nd. And this is out of about 65 golfers, probably about 70 golfers each year, because I only included the ones that ended up making the cut. So average driving distance, 32nd, accuracy, 25th, greens in regulation, 22nd, putts per green regulation, 18, and then birdie or better percentage, 10th. So basically, you don't need distance to contend this week, just like last week. I mean, we've seen Brendan Todd and Matt Kuchar win here in the past, so distance, irrelevant. Accuracy is a little bit more important, but I don't think focusing too much on off the tee metrics is going to be your best bet this week. You got to hit some greens, you got to make putts, got to make birdies. That's pretty much how I would sum up what I'm looking for this week. So yeah, big weight to strokes gained approach. The greens here are very large, 7,000 square feet on average. They're easy to hit on average. And then I looked at the scrambling success rate here over the years. It's pretty high. So for me, around the green is not that important. And that kind of backs up the last 2 winners of this event, which have been Viktor Hovland and Viktor Hovland. He is arguably the worst on the PGA Tour around the green. So yeah, for me, I'm not looking at around the green, and I'm not really looking at off the tee all that much. Although, I'll keep total driving and strokes gained off the tee in the model, just at smaller weights than usual. Not much wind in the forecast. We could get some rain on Wednesday and Thursday, so that could even lead to better scoring conditions. And then the comps, which kind of led us to Seamus Power last week. He rated out well in all 3 of the comps that I was looking at. So this week's comps, we got strokes gained on easy courses, strokes gained on past palm courses, and then strokes gained on short par 70 and par 71 courses is what I decided to roll with. So for these stats, again, big weights off the approach, bigger weights to the last 8 and 12 months than just the last 4 months, because we don't have a ton of data to work with. A lot of the golfers, they played the Tour Championship, and they've either played once or twice since then in terms of the best golfers in the field, and then you have a lot of the swing season guys that have played a lot, but wanted to get a nice mix. So I'm focusing more on mid and long-term stats. Pretty big weight to birdie or better, pretty big weight to putting. I don't have putting splits in the model this week because we don't have shot link data on any of the past palm courses. Course history, pretty small weight, but I do think it carries, a little bit of importance. We've seen guys play well here time and time again, so certainly no issue if you do want to, bump up course history in the model this week. The whole yardage breakdown, specifically based on the whole yardages of El Camaleon Golf Course. The guys that rate out the best: Scheffler, Finau, Horschel, Henley, and Keith Mitchell. Comp 1 is going to be your strokes gained on your easy courses. This should be one of the top 10 easiest courses on the PGA Tour this year, especially with the wind forecast at the moment. Again, it is Monday, so we do want to check the weather, again on Wednesday. But comp number 1, Seamus Power, there he is again. So he plays easy course as well. We saw that last week. Tony Finau, Matt McNeely, Russell Henley, and Tom Hoge rounding out that comp. And then comp number 2 is going to be on past palm courses. Billy Horschel, Harris English, Adam Long, Brandon Wu. Probably a small sample there, but certainly a guy that is interesting. I liked him last week, and he finished T29. And then Aaron Wise, who's been playing some great golf. And then column number 3 is going to be short strokes gained on shorter courses. You have Russell Henley, who's kind of a short course specialist, Harris English, Seamus Power, Scotty Scheffler, and Colin Morikawa. Then you have your, different long-term metrics. So if you want to chase some upside, I like to give a higher weight to these 3 columns. If you want to chase some safety for, cash games, that kind of thing in DFS, then I like to, bump up these 3 columns. So I like to use the model in a bunch of different ways. I don't just have my weights and stick to them. I like to play around with them to kind of get different ratings for different types of lineups that I'm building or different types of bets that I am making. Let's get to the overall rankings real quick. Again, I will be adjusting, some of the weights throughout the week. And if you are an RG Premium member, you can download this model and adjust the weights yourself. At the very top, we have Scotty Scheffler. Not far behind, we have Victor Hovland and Tony Finau. Hovland's won here twice. Scheffler's played well here. Finau's played well here. Then you have Aaron Wise, Morikawa kind of rating out as the worst of the bunch. And that's just kind of because his form over the last, I would say, 8 months hasn't been that great. It's been a little bit better recently, but nothing to write home about. Henley's obviously popping in the model, so he's interesting at 60-1. The course history is a little bit worrisome, but certainly interesting. He hasn't been very good on paspalum courses. That's kind of the only knock on him this week, and this is obviously paspalum course, and he hasn't been great here. So maybe he won't make enough putts in order to contend this week, but I do think he's a really good DFS option. Brian Harman's up there as well. Let's quickly sort by the point per dollar rating, see if we have any names that stand out. Justin Rose, wow, I haven't seen him atop the point per dollar column, and I can't even remember the last time we saw that. So that's certainly interesting at 7,300. He's 90-1 this week. T40 here last year. Very inconsistent, very volatile, but does have some upside still. Ben Griffin popping again. He obviously played really well last week. Ryan Palmer is up there. Tony Finau, Davis Riley, Chris Kirk, kind of rounding out your best point per dollar options. So that will do it for this week. I appreciate you joining me. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you will consider joining RG Premium. It's a lot of fun. We got our Discord. We got all the good articles and rankings and lineup HQ tools. And yeah, we'd love to have you. But if not, appreciate you watching. Best of luck, and we'll see you back here next week.